Hello everyone. Today I want to share with you my there's a lot of light. Today I want to share with you my experience about Vipassana. And what is Vipassana? It's actually a meditation technique that Buddha used to taught people in 2,500 years ago, and then the aim is to help people to get rid of their miseries. And nowadays there are many meditation centers all around the world, and the founder is an Indian teacher, and his name is Goenka. And in the center, actually all the courses are recorded by Mr. Goenka, so no matter which center you go, you're gonna receive the same information. And how does Vipassana work? It's actually a self-observation by observing your own breathing and your sensations. And during the process, maybe you will have deeper understanding about yourself and you will have some transformations. But it depends on the people, so everyone will have different experiences. And I'm here today just share my own one. So what was my biggest takeaway during those 10 days? The first one is I knew that my brain are capable to create a new way of thinking. And the second one is it's actually a workshop of living in the present moment for me, because I used to read a lot of books about living in the present moment, but I thought I already knew what is living in the present moment. But after those 10 days, I realized I only knew from my brain, but my body doesn't 100% follow. So after those 10 days, I really think it's super helpful for me to really live in the present moment. How I found these two realizations, I can explain with you how was my experience in those 10 days. Okay, so the first 3 days we mainly focus on our breathing and sensations. And during the observations, the teacher will ask you to observe everything with equanimity mind. So what is equanimity mind? It's actually based on two principles. The first principle is the law of nature. And then the second principle is impermanence. So you might ask, so what is the connection between the natural and the impermanence with my body and my sensations? You can think in this way, like for example, the trees in the nature is gonna grow when the time is right, but it also die when the time comes. And the direction of how they are growing is actually without any rule. So if they have space, they go up, or they can go to the right, or they go to the left. Like there's no such a rule in the nature. And also the life in general is just impermanent for all the beings. So if you can understand this concept, and you understand actually we are just part of the nature, so you can use this mindset, the equanimity mind, to really observe all your sensations. The first 3 days we only focus this small part to really enhance our concentration. So from the fourth day, I start to sense like every part of my body, and day by day you can feel the sensations is become sharper and sharper. And until the 8th day, as you know, as a human being, once you don't have to worry about your daily basis, and then you are so familiar with what you are doing right now, the thought come out. Like I start to have a lot of thoughts in my mind. But at the beginning, I was trying to tell myself, like just see everything with equanimity mind. But since I have plenty of time sitting there for 10 hours per day, and I was like, oh, maybe I can pick one of the memories that bothered me before, and then maybe it's not gonna bother me so much because I have meditated for such a long time. So I pick one of the memories and then I try to look at it and I try to think about why it happened and is it there trauma before, so it made me feel so uncomfortable with this feeling, like there are a lot of analysis going on. But after a while I realized my body feel exactly the same sensation when the things happen in the past. And as I told you before, my brain is very familiar with the concept of living in a present moment. So I was aware enough to bring myself back, and I tell myself, you are in the present moment and everything is okay. And then I was alright. But every time when I go back to the memories and then try to analyze, seems like I was trying to solving a problem, but the reality is I'm giving more and more power to this problem in my mind because I was paying so much attention on this problem. And if we think about the equanimity mind, actually I didn't look at this problem with equanimity because I give it different energies and I see the problem differently compared with how I see the soreness on my legs. So I found that my old pattern of thinking was actually not so helpful because I was trying to bring myself back to look at the problem and think about to remove it 100%, but and seems like I was able to come out from the problems, but maybe a few weeks later or a few months later, the feeling will come back again from nowhere. So which means my brain knew how it works, but my body never followed. So at that time, I really think, oh, maybe I should change the way of thinking, just like how I observe my sensations in Vipassana. I know it sounds like very easy, but it's actually not so easy when you try to apply it in your daily life, especially something have been bothered us so much before. But I believe time by time, if you try to practice, the problem that bother you so much before, it's gonna become smaller and smaller. And yeah, so this is an example when I experiment to bring myself back to the past. And actually I also try to experiment myself to think about, what if I think about some happiness in the future, because maybe it might make me feel very happy. So I started to think about something in the future, like where I'm gonna live in the future or what kind of things I'm gonna do, and I feel the happiness came out, but it didn't last for so long, and I knew in my heart like it's not from my real peace because everything is just my imaginations. So at that point I found no matter my mind is in the past or my mind is in the future, and no matter what kind of sensation I was craving, like happiness or I want to get rid of some miseries, it's just because of I was not satisfied with my current moment right now. Because of that, like I wasn't happy with my present moment, so I'm looking for some happiness in the future, or I'm not happy with like suffering something in the past, so I want to get rid of the past. So no matter which direction we go and what kind of emotions we are craving, it's because of we are not satisfied with our current present moment. And what if we can use this concept of equanimity to look at our present moment? If I can see everything with equanimity mind in the present moment, I won't be limited by the word like happiness or suffering or sadness, because they are just a level. But most of the time we were just limited by the label of the language. But if we can just see things as how it is, it's actually the key of the Vipassana is just observing the things as how it is. And if I can accept everything is just how it is, and then everything in my mind is just how it looks like at the present moment, I don't have to label it, I don't have to judge it. So I think the perspective of living is gonna be so different. So maybe you might ask, so we shouldn't generate any emotion reactions in our life? I think it doesn't work that way, but this technique is gonna help you to break your old pattern of thinking. So maybe in the future, and then something happen in your life, and then you might not be affected so much compared with before. And I think that's already good enough. And here I can share with you a conversation I had with a monk. So the last day before I left the center, I met a monk and I asked him, after you meditate for so long, do you still have some emotion reactions when you meditate? And then his answer is, yes, but it's getting lesser and lesser. And I was like, wow, such a relief, because he's an expert for meditation, Vipassana, but he still have the emotional reaction just like every one of us. And I also think like in the past, I always trying so hard to think about why I have this problem, and then really trying so hard to get rid of it. But now I know I don't have to do it anymore. I just have to learn how to live with it and just see it as everything in my life like equally. I know it sounds very difficult and it's not very easy to really achieve that kind of level, but if I never try, I will never know what is gonna happen. So I think I will still keep trying practice Vipassana. Okay, so apart from these two big takeaway, like my brain is capable to create a new way of thinking, and the second is very important to live at the present moment. Apart from these 2 points, actually it also help in my daily life for some small things. For example, I was a person who is very sensitive with the sound. So if I was doing something and someone is making sound surround me, I'm gonna be so annoyed. So during the meditation, there's a lady behind me, and then she was coughing all the time. So at the beginning, I was like, the sound appeared and my emotion reaction is annoying. So it was my old pattern of thinking. And then I told myself, try to see it with equanimity mind. So the lady is sick, but it's natural to be sick, and also it's impermanent because she's not gonna sick forever, and I will not be here forever. So I feel so much better, and I didn't care about the sound so much after I thought that way. And then after that, I realized I even generate some compassion to her, because it was so tough every day. We sit there for 10 hours. So if I am sick, I don't think I am able to sit for such a long time every day. So in the end, I feel so respectful to this lady. And another benefit I got from Vipassana is about increasing my concentration. The first day when I sat down, I realized I had so much thought in my mind, and my mind was keep wandering. For example, I thought about there are many peacocks here, and then when I heard the sound of the peacock, I was thinking, oh, maybe the peacock here is happier than the peacock in the zoo. Like this kind of unnecessary thoughts keep coming in my mind. So if my mind kept wandering, which means I'm not at the present moment again. Yeah. So yeah, I hope this video will help you to have more curiosities of Vipassana. And if you want to see more detailed information, you can just type Vipassana, and there are a lot of information online. And also the Vipassana is free. So actually when I was there, I feel so grateful with all the food I have, and also my room and the shala for meditations, because everything came from the donation of the previous person. So in the end, also I donate some small amount to support this system. But I think even you don't pay anything is also okay, because you have paid your 10 days energies to really find your inner peace. And then if you can bring this peace to the world, is already the biggest benefit to the world. Yeah, so if you have any question, you can message me from my Instagram, or if you are going to do Vipassana or you have done Vipassana in the past, you are very welcome to share with me your experiences. And that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.